Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Sorry for all the technical difficulties. I'm sorry.
Hey, ho, it's the best of both worlds. Episode what? I don't even know. And that's it. That's the we don't
What is
know.
it, 16? I think it's 16.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's definitely we up there. We're getting up there. We're getting close to our. We haven't figured out when our anniversary show is.
Oh, I can figure that out right now.
It's definitely almost been a year since we started.
It's actually, by the time this episode posts, it might be a year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to. Oh my god.
Well, how have you been in the meantime?
In the meantime, I've been alive. Oh, our first episode was November 18th.
November 18th. Yes.
On it, y'all.
All right, I'll check and see what day of the week November 18th happens. We'll make sure we'll post and give ourselves a happy birthday.
We gotta do something for our first year.
Yes, we should.
I don't know what that accent was.
Something. Listeners, let us know what you want to see for our birthday. Do you want to see us in? Oh wait, it's November. I was gonna say in Halloween costumes, but no, not in November. We'll have to figure out something. Ooh, maybe we'll do another photo shoot. You do a birthday photo shoot.
Yes. I don't know. You said photo shoot and my brain shut down. Like I couldn't process what a photo shoot was. Oh my God. Hello, y'all. So I'm coming to you in studio. Miss Millie Mells is virtual.
Yes, coming to you from my home, about an hour away from the studio. So excuse the background, but I'm at my home office.
I drank that coffee too quick. I almost threw it out. All right.
Yeah, shout out to our sponsors of drink this episode, coffee and green tea.
Green tea. Just coffee and green tea across the board. They're literally keeping us alive right now.
That should definitely let you guys know, one, how early it is. Two, how late we stayed up last night, unprepared to get up this.
You know what? I will say, I work overnight. So for me, unless I'm exhausted, it's very hard for me to fall asleep. Even if I'm exhausted, I'll come home exhausted and my brain will still keep me up till like 3 or 4 o'clock. So
you've always been that way. Like I was thinking about that with the meme you sent me. So freshman year, guys, Christina and I used to live together. And I don't know about anybody else, but I personally have a hard time sleeping in new places. And this is my first time sleeping away from home with a stranger in my room. So I already have the habit of talking in my sleep, but it was definitely amplified with Christine's presence.
Melissa sleepwalked. I remember one time she got up from the bed. She got up from the bed and she walked over to the door and she just put her hand on the knob. And I was like, and she was like, what? I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, don't make fun of me. And she ran back to her bed. Sorry. Like, what?
Don't make fun of me. I forgot about that one.
There was another time. It was don't make fun of me or something. I think it was that. Like you were like, don't tease me, or it was something like that. And then there was another time where she was sleeping. Obviously, our beds were on opposite sides and like opposite corners. So like I was in the corner by the door and hers was in the corner by the window, right?
Mm-hmm. So one of those weird long rooms. Like it wasn't wide, it was long.
If we were next to each other, we would have been touching. So yay, Rutgers. But she was asleep. She was facing the wall and I was up probably having anxiety about a class. I don't know, but I was up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden she pops up from her bed and immediately turns around and points at me, eyes still closed, and goes, and like slowly melted back into her bed.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
Yep. I would be terrified too. I sat up and I was speaking in gibberish or tongues. Like, and meanwhile, I have no recollection of talking. I just have a feeling that I spoke. So I would wake up the next morning like, Christine, did I talk in my sleep? And she's like, bitch, you terrified me. Did you put a hex on me?
One time, you know who did? Wait.
Who put a hex on you?
Yeah. Do you remember? We won't say her name, but the white girl who I ended up living with sophomore year.
Yes.
You know, one time, I mean, I don't know Latin, but this girl started speaking something that sounded a lot like Latin in her sleep.
Oh no!
I was like,
no! Oh no!
That's a curse. That's a curse. That's a curse. Okay. I don't know what I did to her, but she really did put a hex on me. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. And even like when I first started living with my boyfriend, I used to talk in my sleep all the time. And he used to think I was awake. He's like, why do you keep falling asleep when you're talking to me? And I'm like, I'm not awake.
Oh my
And then I would claim that I didn't remember. And he's like, why are you faking like you didn't remember this conversation? I was like, we had a conversation? No, I say all that to say, I forget where we started with this. But yes, that meme was hilarious when Christine sent that to me earlier this week. That was funny.
Look it up.
It was a TikTok, actually.
It was a TikTok of the two girls. Who that lady over there in the chair?
Yeah. Yeah. What lady?
What fucking lady? Yo, I feel like a teenager with like having a TikTok and stuff. And I know there's old people on TikTok, but I don't really post on there. Mm-hmm. But girl, when I tell you I walk around with them little songs stuck in my freaking head. Stuck in my head. What was the one that was stuck in my head the other day? There's the one that they're doing now. It's like work, me and my friends, work, walk out. And I was just watching so many. I was driving home the other day, and I was like, work, work, work.
What's wrong with you? I've heard that.
Girl, work.
I think more people in our generation have TikToks than they are willing to admit, one. And two, a lot of them have said that the songs are literally like infectious.
Oh
and that's the number one reason why they keep going back to it.
Who was I talking to? Was it you? I don't think so. I was talking to somebody and they were like, ooh, lost it for a second. Sorry. I was talking to somebody and they were like, I feel like with the way social media is going, people, because it feels like a lot of times like we're hearing music from a lot of pop stars and they're not that great anymore. Like, they're catchy and then they get popular on TikTok. And now it almost seems like people are purposely making songs for them to go on TikTok because they'll make a song and they're posting it and they're like, do this dance, tag us, do it on TikTok.
Ciara. What was that song that she came out with? The one with the people doing this.
A Level Up? That was pretty
No. But that was literally during the Savage challenges. When all that was happening, Level Up came. If it wasn't Level Up, it was another Ciara song. And I was like, this is literally a TikTok song. Like, it's literally, you just have a TikTok for it. It wasn't Level Up. It was another Ciara song that she came out with. That was just TikTok. Like, strictly. Jason Derulo, too.
How did your producers give you that beat? You said, yeah, I'm going to make a song out of that. It sounds like it belongs in a kindergarten classroom.
Yes.
And people are doing this weird waving hips.
Children.
My little 10-year-old
are like, literally.
Yes. Do you know how often my cousin's in this phase where he does things repeatedly, right? And he knows I have a TikTok, so he'll just come up to me and he'll go like this. And I'm just staring at him, and then he goes, and he does it every time I see him, several times throughout the event, whatever it is. It's so nice. Somebody was talking about the future of music, and they're like, I feel like people are going to stop putting out full-length songs.
Yes,
correct. They're going to be putting out 30 to 60-second snippets so that you can use it just for TikTok.
So to piggyback off of that, they say that the shortness of Old Town Road was one of the contributing factors as to why it was streamed so many times. Old Town Road is one of the shortest #1 songs in 50 years.
Wow.
It's literally, I think it's, Ming can pull up the numbers, but I believe it's 1:32 or 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Like, it's incredibly short, to the point that it's like viral to loop it because you want to keep hearing more music.
Yeah.
So
And that's
I remember seeing that. So that's interesting.
And that does make sense because it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's super short.
Yeah.
2 minutes and 38 seconds exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that definitely attributes to, because what song were they playing a lot and I just got so sick of it? I don't really like him as an artist, so I was probably going to get sick of it anyway. It was a J. Cole song.
You said who? J. Roll?
J. Cole.
J. Cole. Oh, like Crooked Smile. On my way down. That one. It was recent.
Like something where he talks about Erykah Badu and you know, I want a girl like a, I want a what's it called?
I know what you're talking
about. Like
I know what you're talking about, and not Drake's Nice for What. You're not getting that confused.
No, it's a J. Cole song that is literally like 5 minutes long. Entire song on the radio. I don't really listen to the radio anymore, but back in the day when I worked with, pulling it up. Back in the day when I think it came from 2018. It has to be. Back in the day when I worked and I had to pick up my clients and I couldn't like plug in my phone to listen to music or podcasts or whatever. So I'd have to listen to the radio. And I would get so effing mad when I had to hear that 5 minute fucking song.
I try to think about which one you're talking about. Because I know J. Cole too. So it's like, are you sure? Was that it? Did you play it?
No, are you sure? No, I just hit the mic. Am I sure it wasn't what?
I'm trying to think. Crooked Smile was the one song he talks about like a bunch of people. I was gonna say Brown Skin Girl, but that is not his song. But that song has gotten really annoying and played out, which I'm really sad about because I liked it. Yeah, Brown Skin. I hear it so much.
Oh, No Role Models. First things first. Uncle Phil.
First, yes, for real.
4 minutes and 43 seconds. I don't want to listen to a 4 minute and 43 second song on my morning commute. It takes me 15 minutes to get to work. That's a third of my trip. No, I can't do it. I would get so angry when that song would play. I would get so angry. I don't know why.
What other song? Can you think quickly like what songs the radio has killed in the past? Like Nice for What? Killed it. Drake's Nice for What? Or what was that song where he was giving out lots of money?
Trap Money Benny.
Yes.
Champagne, but you want some honey?
Yes.
Yeah.
They played that song
because
they rang the blood out of that song.
Oh my God. Yes, it was that song. There was a Wiz Khalifa song back when he was making music that got popular on the white channels too.
Yes, See You Again from Paul Walker's Death or from the Final Fantasy, Fast and Furious.
Broke the table when you said that. Oh my God. And there's nothing worse when you're clicking through your stations. Hot 97, see you again. 105. See you.
It's been a long day.
And they're all at the same point in the song. That it doesn't happen often, but every once in a while you go through all the stations.
Yes.
And they're all at the same point in the song. And you're like,
that happened with Rihanna. What song is that? Work. I promise you, I checked every station.
You need to.
Every station.
God damn it. You need
You need.
Get done. At a certain point, you had to say, I'm either going to go to 107.5 and listen to the oldies, or I'm going to deal with the rest of the song. And then you go to 107.5 and it's a commercial. And you're like, well, I'm fucked.
Well, I'd rather listen to the commercials. That, or you find whichever one's in the latest part of the song. You're like, I'll just ride this out.
Oh my God. 107.5 though, listen, I love a morning radio show. You know, that was why I wanted to start this podcast, right? Excuse me. I love a good morning radio show. And I know we always listen to The Breakfast Club as young, hip Black people. We always listen to The Breakfast Club. I prefer Hot 97's morning show, but I'll listen to The Breakfast Club every once in a while. I encourage y'all, if y'all still listen to morning radio shows, I encourage all of y'all to click over to 107.5 and listen to Steve Harvey's morning show every once in a while.
Gold. My mom used to listen to it, and I used to be crying in the back seat. These old people don't give a fuck. They don't care any longer. Oh
my God. The listener letters that they get in from these people. Holy shit.
I'm like, either it's fake and was written by a producer, or there are people that need serious help, very serious help immediately.
It is just so funny. And then because Steve Harvey is such a ham, there was one where this man was talking about cheating. And I don't know what he said, but the tangent they went on took them to a commercial break. And then they came back and continued reading the letter. I forgot about the letter. Y'all, please just listen to 107.5's morning show every once in a while. You don't have to do it constantly, but give it a chance. It is so funny. It is so funny.
I definitely endorse. I definitely co-sign it. And I forgot how much I liked it when my mom used to take us to school, and she used to have it on. She used to have like a 45-hour drive after dropping us off.
Yeah.
And she used to have it on. She's like, this makes my ride so much interesting. I'm like, Mom.
One time, Hot 97 was talking about something. This was, I think it was when the Black Lives Matters movement was still big, like the first time. And they were having a discussion about something. And like I said, I was working at my last job. So I was driving to pick up clients, and he said something. I was like, I'm going to call in. So I called in while I was driving.
Oh my God.
And they put me on.
Christine, you never told me this story.
So I got to talk to them, and I said it, whatever. Meanwhile, I'm honking the horn trying to pick up my client.
That's what I'm saying. You're driving.
And then I say it, and then, and I say my thing, and then I put on the radio, and there's a delay. So then they played it a little bit later. So I got to hear myself talk, and I was like, oh, that's so dope. And then I got back to work, and everyone was like, oh my God, Christine, there was this girl with your name that sounded on the radio. And I was like, yeah,
bitch, that was me. Not a girl with my name that sounded like me. Everybody you might as well ask if it's me.
Every single person was like, there was a girl with your name. She sounded just like you. Literally, that was what everybody said. It was so...
That's all. You never told me. I've never been on a radio station. When I was younger, I only listened to Radio Disney. And by younger, I mean until high school. So I always listened to it.
Wasn't Radio Disney? Didn't you have to have like that Prime radio to have Radio Disney?
Not when it first started. When it first started, it was AM 1560. I'll never forget it. 1560 on the radio. Yep. And then I guess either they got popping enough. I don't know which one it is, whether you get popping enough to land a contract with like Sirius or something, or you're bad and Sirius collects you for a cheap rate. I don't know.
So that someone else can get the free play.
Considering that it's Disney, I doubt it was that they didn't have enough money or listeners. Yeah. I don't know. But it was great. It was very clean and everything. I tried to call in multiple times and to win some damn Disney World tickets or something to like meet Selena Gomez or something ridiculous. Never made it. Never made it.
Talking about calling in to win something. Oh, this is embarrassing. No, it's not embarrassing because I was like 14 or 13 when this happened. So remember when the Sidekick was cool, right? The Sidekick phone. Yeah. Sidekick phone. I think it was 105.1 was giving it away, right? And me and my cousin devised this plan because I wasn't allowed to have a cell phone and she wasn't either. But we were like, if we win it, we could use it, and we were going to share it. How were we going to share a cell phone
Secretly.
when
Okay.
she was 2 hours away in New York? We were going to figure it out, right? So we were
That's that naive belief that gets you there, though.
So we were calling in. Now, if this phone were to show up to my house, my parents would have been like, nope. And they would have snatched it from me. So, but we were calling in, over and over and over and over. And what happens is you get the producer first, and then the producer puts you through, right?
Mm.
So when you would call in, every once in a while, you would like, oh, you have to be the 105 caller, right? So you'd call. Sometimes the phone wouldn't go through at all. Sometimes they'd pick up the phone, 23, click. Yes. So
that's mad rude.
But so they're telling you what your number is. So call. I think we got through 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. The second time, they were like 61, click. So we were like, shit. Kept calling. The third time they picked up, they said, hello.
Yes.
My 13-year-old ass was like, hello? And she was like, hello? I was like, hello? And they were like, hello? And I was like, click.
It's the heavy breathing with the hello. Like, hello?
Hello? Like I'm in a fucking scary movie. Bitch, tell her what you want. Like I was so mad at myself. And lo and behold,
oh, that's so funny.
I don't know if we would have won, but a few minutes later, somebody got it. So it could have been us. So that was, yep.
What? Questions. Sorry, that was really ticklish. Why did she pick up? Like she had no reason. Like she didn't know why you were calling.
Hello? Did I win? Like, you know what I mean? Tell me, give me a number. Give me a number again. Come on. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, that was the laugh of the day. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Ooh, Christy, I'm sorry, I'm laughing with you.
No, it's fine. Forgotten memories. Me and the radio.
That was funny. Why would she pick up and ask you like,
hello?
Why did she think you called? Oh,
like,
oh man, I'm ready to start my day. That was better than coffee. Christy, I just need your stories in the morning.
Oh my God, I'm afraid to unlock whatever else is in my memory bank.
It would be a comedy show. You turned it into Blackish or Black AF. I promise you.
Actually, that's funny. That kind of leads us into our next topic.
Yes. Oh, we're recovering.
So me and it's me and my friends work. I'm sorry. I can't do. What is that move, by the way? What is that?
I don't know how to do it.
Jesus, we are aging
listeners.
ourselves.
You will, if you check out our YouTube, you'll see everything that you can't see. Oh, Christine, I'm gonna tell all my friends that radio story. Hello? Hello? Yes?
And also, I think you have to be 16 to win the contest on the radio show. So what was I gonna do? It was a mess. I was not 16.
Ooh, listeners, if you have stories of calling into the radio, please send them to us.
Oh,
you see how entertained I just was with Christine. So if you had it, please. I want to read it.
Dope. I don't know. Email us, comment on a Instagram post, tweet us. Yeah. That would be. Please do, y'all. Please do.
Actually, why don't we open up to stories in general? I want to hear stories from our listeners. I want to hear people vent. I want to hear how like a ridiculous thing about your day. I want to hear it. Because Christine's the only one with all the good stories. Her life is literally a sitcom.
I had a ridiculous childhood, and it's like, why? Like, ridiculous things happened to me because I was a dumb 13-year-old. But no, I mean, I grew up in a suburb as, a little chunky brown girl, but
yeah. So you said you wanted to segue into our next topic.
This coffee's going straight to my asshole.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry.
You're
Ming
disgusting.
just shook his head at me like,
Ming puts up with us. He knows what it is. He knows exactly what it is.
oh shit.
Shout out to Ming.
Shout outs to Ming. He's a dope dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wanted to segue when you were like, oh, you should make your own Black AF.
Yes.
Black girl.
I would totally watch. Like
So-
I don't know you.
So me and my friends, well, not me and my friends. Let me start. I'm just talking about me. And I've been talking to some friends. But so there's been this thing, right? Where
Mhm.
I feel like COVID and the
Mhm.
COVID situation has really shifted the career
Around.
path.
Mhm.
The
No,
career,
keep on.
okay, sorry. The career path or the career desires of a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
And
Definitely. One,
you know,
because you've had the time to think about what you're doing. Second, we had that big break, that quarantine, that was literally like stop, reevaluate,
yeah.
and then get ready to start again. And I can believe that that caused a lot of shifts.
And not only that, but I think also, we talked about COVID really exposing a lot of the cracks in America. And I think that kind of opened up a lot of people's eyes. Like, can you imagine the amount of people who wanted to be teachers before COVID?
Yes.
And then COVID and are probably like, fuck
Yes.
that. Fuck
100.
that.
No, I've heard the opposite. I've heard people that have always wanted to be teachers that
Yeah.
are now in students. I mean, like children supervising positions in which they're helping them through their virtual classes. That they're like, this is what I've always wanted to do. I'm so happy I can help kids. Now that there's so many openings, I can become a teacher. I've heard both.
So you know what I mean? Whereas, so it's
Mhm.
like the opposite. So COVID will either confirm that you want to do something or confirm, oh shit, never mind. You know what I mean?
100%. Yes.
There are a lot of people who, like, even my mom. So my mom is a retired woman, right?
Mhm.
And she told me, she's like, every time I watch a news story about COVID and I see these people, like they're showing videos of these people in the labs working on things and and all I can think is how much I want to be one of those people. I want to find a cure for this disease, like, or for
Really?
this. Yes.
Wow.
And I was like, Mom, you're retired. Like, why don't you go take a few biology classes and see if you can do it? And she was like, your father said that too. Shock of the year. Shock of the year.
Wow.
I'm shocked my father
Why
told
would
me.
I'm very surprised your father would be endorsing her to go back to work of any kind.
Shocked. Shocked. Right?
See, there's that Florida water. I promise you there's something in it. There's something in it.
There's drugs in it. But she was like, yeah. And I was like, Mom, I fully support that idea. Go take some classes. Like, you don't know what you could be into. And my mom has definitely been trying to find a way. Like my mom, and then also with the Black Lives Matter protest, my mom's like, I want to do something for Black people. She's like, what if I start a meal kit service, but it services people who are lower income? You know what I mean? Like my mom's been having all these
go craziness now.
She would have never had that if she was stuck here going to work doing the same routine over and over again.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So now poisonally, what kind of
poisonally
1920s newsboy Mr. Griffin? Anyway, so personally, COVID for me has revealed something. Now we know I've talked about becoming an actor for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
years, as long as I personally know.
Yeah, for a very long time. And there's been some breaks in that where I've said, maybe I don't want to be an actor. Maybe I'd rather be behind the camera. Maybe I'd rather do this. Maybe I'd rather do that, right? But acting has sort of stayed constant, right?
Right.
As this pandemic goes on, I'm coming to a point where I don't think I want to do it anymore.
And that's a good thing.
You know?
That's a good thing.
And I've never been in a position, whether it be mentally, because there's a lot of self-doubt, mostly brought on by my parents, which makes sense because that's what parents do when you don't want to do something traditional.
Correct. Parents, if there are any parents listening to this, please just tell your child that they can do anything they put their mind to. Like, it's a simple sentence to say, hey, I believe in you.
Yeah.
And you can do anything that you put your mind to.
And if you
I just wanted to quickly say that.
No, for real, because I mean, if you fail, you're still alive. You can do something else. That's really what it is. And that's why I'm kind of, for a very long time, I resented my parents because I felt like they held me back. You know what I mean? And it really took until about like 3 years ago for me to be like, well, no, Christine, you're an adult. Yeah, at this point, it's your fault. You know what I mean? 2 years ago, excuse me. It was very recent that I really started I really stopped blaming them for a lot of things.
Started taking ownership in what you can do
moving
forward.
Exactly. So, but losing my mind. Yeah, but so there was a lot of things that were holding me back. So whether it be physically, mentally, whatever. But this year for me, like I've mentioned before, this year for me was supposed to be very different. Me and a friend of mine who is also an actor, she was writing a show. I was directing it. We were going to bring it into festivals. We were going to bring it to the city. You know what I mean? My goals this year, they've changed. So I don't mind sharing what my goals were supposed to be. My goals this year were to be working in New York City, be taking acting classes, and to find a talent agent. So this year I was supposed to be in a much different space. And then
I think we all were.
Yeah, right? Everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
And then COVID shut everything down. Live theater.
Who knows when that will come back? Who knows when Broadway will be Broadway again?
Because you can't, unfortunately, for, theater. Now, for someone small scale like us, if a theater even allows us to have like 25% capacity, okay. We just need the money for the space and we could show it off. Who cares?
Right.
Broadway can't operate at 25% capacity.
No.
Money. You know what I mean?
And things like that make me think that a lot of things that personally happened to me and definitely happened to you that stopped different things was for a reason. Because imagine if you were a Broadway actor right now, you'd be in a very tough spot. Even if all of your childhood dreams came true and you became an actor on Broadway, COVID would still happen.
I'd be fucked.
And you'd be fucked. But now you're not to say that you're in a better position than those actors, but you're not in that situation.
Absolutely. And it seems like the only people who are sort of not being hit, and they were actually, they were being hit. Do you know how many Netflix shows got canceled because of COVID?
Yes.
Some shows were mid-production. Some of these shows were pre-production. Some of these shows, you know what I mean? And I think I think Glow was one of them. I think Glow was finishing up their season.
Glow got canceled.
And it got canceled. They're not finishing it. They were I
didn't know that.
They were in production. You know what I mean? There were several shows. I mean, it was because of COVID. You know what I mean? So only high profile celebrities that are, you know what I mean, that are able, or shows that are being produced in other countries, or shows that got finished before COVID started.
Yeah, because like Euphoria. Euphoria is coming back in December because they finished right in March. Literally, once everything shut down, they still did another day of production to finish, and then they shut it down.
My acting is actually, she has a small role in a show on Netflix called The Grand Army. So watch it, and you see a tall, skinny Haitian woman. That's my acting coach. You know what I mean? But she was doing that months ago. So the only reason that one still got produced. So do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. Because my friend told me, she's like, oh, I know people who are still doing stuff. And I'm like, who? Because my acting coach, who is in the business, she's like, the only people who are doing things are big name people. She's like, they're not looking for newbies. They're not looking to start anything. I mean, didn't Zendaya do like a movie with somebody and they had to be socially distanced? I feel like, is it Zendaya? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person.
I didn't know that.
I know there are 2 Black actors, one female, one male, and they were doing a movie and they shot it during quarantine, but it was all masks, constant checks, socially distanced. Like the only time they couldn't wear masks was when the two actors were on set. Do you know what I mean? Like, and who's
Yeah.
like that? People
Yeah,
who
what
have
type of acting procedure would that bring out? Like, what
So-
kind of process?
and that's what. So I'm, and then also like the exposure of how many like child molesters and child rapists there are in the entertainment field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now they exist all over the world in every single field and every single faction, right?
Yep,
But
every corner.
the high percentage of them that exist in Hollywood freaked me out. I was like, ew. Like I feel like there was an am I crazy? I have no memory of this year. Yesterday was March. So I don't know what happened between March and today. But I feel like there was a thing where people were sort of was that last year or this year?
What are you talking about?
Wasn't there an exposure of all those people with Epstein?
Yes, that was this year. That was this year.
This year, there was a new paper that came out, and it was all
Yes,
these
the Black Book that came out with all like Naomi Campbell and
Beyonce and Chrissy
people that visited him.
and all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm
not
hoping,
to say we are not saying everyone in that Black Book is a pedophile. I have to
I'm hoping that something, because wasn't he also an accountant? I mean,
yes, he was a financier of different businesses.
Child rapist. But I'm hoping that some of those names were people who were just working. Not that it makes it any better, because like if you know who he is, don't work with him.
Right.
But whatever. That's my hope, that not all these people. But it's also like you look at this and you're like, ew. Like what the fuck? Like
yes.
it's so that just sort of, I don't know. So a lot of things have made me go, I don't think I want to pursue being like an actor, at least not in the way that I originally wanted to. My dream was always like, I don't want to be like a YouTube star. I don't want to make things on YouTube, because when you do things like that, when you do like social media or like, what do they call them? They call them mini celebrities, right?
Yeah.
Some of them make it to like, I guess, real celebrity status. They're like mini celebrities because there's more access to the people, and the more access regular people feel like they have to, not regular people, the more access people who are not in that field feel like they have to, like fan base, the more you have to give them. Someone like Beyonce doesn't have to be on social media. She will still have the same status. Do you know what I mean?
Correct. Because her status is above that, nor did it start there.
Exactly. Even Kim Kardashian, there were, when she got robbed in France and then she stayed on social media for months, people were writing articles about if she doesn't come back to social media, she could fuck up her empire, because she built herself. She created, her family created they created the Instagram that it is the way it is now.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And if she doesn't come back to it, she's going to lose money. She's going to lose followers.
That's a horrible place to be in. Horrible place to have to do what you love. That's the thing. Have to do what you love. You should always want to do what you love, but you should never be forced to do it.
Exactly. And that's why I never really wanted to be that kind of person, because I can't guarantee that I can offer that kind of connection, or that I can offer that constant production. Do you know what I mean? But now I'm like, damn, if it means I don't have to work with a pedophile, maybe I should be focusing heavily on making my own shit and staying that way. And you know what I mean? Instead of, you know, like, so I've just, it's been, or I'm like, maybe there are other things I'm interested in and have always been interested in. And I'm like, again, seeing
sorry, that was Simba. Yes, that is Simba. I'm also doggy sitting another dog for a friend.
Really?
Yeah, his name's T'Challa.
Really?
So I'll show you at the end. So our viewers will get a treat of T'Challa at the end.
Can I come visit? Hi, Sam.
Yes, please come visit. Yes.
No, I don't have any pets. I don't have any pets. I live alone. I've been feeling lonely and untouched. I should have got a cat before this pandemic started. Guys, I'm exposing myself a lot right now. Like, and none of my friends like to hug me, so I've been missing like a touch. So I might actually go get a cat, because I'm getting sad and I need something to pet.
I don't like cats, but considering your lifestyle, I highly recommend cats.
Love cats. I just need my house to be like clean, and I need to get toys for the cat so she doesn't fuck up my couch. But yeah. I'm gonna get a
No,
cat.
cats are soulless. But let's continue.
Anyway, so that's what I really just wanted to talk about. Like COVID has really made me rethink the career I want to pursue. And also I'm getting, COVID is happening, coming up to like a change in my life. Like I'm approaching 30. I'm not there yet. I'm only 28. Well, no, I'll be 29 in like a month and a half.
I'm about to say your birthday's definitely coming up.
In my brain, I've been 30 for 3 years. So it's stressing me out. And then like, I want to have I've been telling all my friends for like the past year and a half that I want to have a huge 30th birthday party.
Which
right?
you will.
Which I will.
COVID's behind us. The worst is the unthinkable did not happen on your 30th.
And even if it does happen by then, they're going to be like, listen, the venue's open, have your party.
Yeah.
So
we're never shutting down again.
So now it's like, no, so now I'm legitimately like, I found a caterer. I'm looking at different halls. I'm going to be putting down a down payment. So now it feels more legitimate. Like, I'm like, oh no, now I'm like prepping for this party. You know what I mean? So it's like, not only am I, so I'm like rethinking my career and, I'm approaching this like turning point. And I'm really like, yeah, like I'm in a place where I'm like, I don't think I want to pursue acting the way I originally wanted to. And I'm not sure if I want to pursue it at all.
How do you feel about that revelation?
That's scary because even when I wasn't pursuing it, because it was always my goal, I knew where I was going. And now I don't know where I'm going.
But isn't that exciting at the same time? It's like getting in your car and just driving.
It is, because now it's kind of it's so it's scary, but it's also like, so what the fuck am I gonna do?
Right.
What am I gonna do?
Like a divorcee. You've divorced the idea of becoming an actor. Yes. Not to say y'all can't reconcile, because we know.
And not to say that I'm not gonna produce content. So if y'all start, I mean, y'all are gonna start seeing me on YouTube and on other things. Yeah, you know what I mean? So so then if it happens for me that way, then that's dope. But I don't care about being in like Hollywood anymore. Do you know what I mean?
And I think that's a beautiful thing. I honestly think and that's something our generation has to come to terms with, that as we get older, we're going to realize that the things we once wanted, or things that we thought was our purpose, or things that we've been driving ourselves towards for the last 20-something years is not it. And I feel like for a lot of people in our generation, they're scared, like you're saying. I know I would be scared. They're scared, like you're saying. And at the same time, they're disheartened because they feel like they wasted time, when it's not time wasted to discover something you don't like. Exactly. That is time accurately used.
Exactly. As long as you wake up and you keep going every day. And that's something that I've had to say to myself, because so many people, my mother included, I was on the phone with my mother the other day, and she was just like, you need to go back to school. You need to find a new job. You need to do this. You need to do that. We're going to discuss all this. And I was like, Mom, because I don't discuss things with you, you think I don't have a plan. Just because I'm working where I'm working, you think I don't have a plan. I'm like, right. You just have to, you want me to wake up tomorrow and be in a new place, and that's not how it works. It took my mother, I'm exposing her, it took my mother 7 years to get through college. All right?
Nothing wrong with it.
I think, of course it's not, but I think her fear of that happening for me led her to not tell me that until I graduated college after 6 years. Do you know what I mean?
That's it's crazy. And that would have been such a empowering thing for you to know.
Like, parents, your kids are gonna fucking make mistakes, no matter what.
Just like you did.
Exactly.
It's not the same mistakes that you did.
Exactly. And you know what? It might be the same damn thing you did too. And guess what? They have to make that mistake, because they are their own human being, and they are still learning about the world. No matter what you tell them, there are things that they are going to discover on their own. And you have to let your kids make mistakes. You need to be there to support them so that they can fall back on you when that mistake happens. That's what parents don't do. Not so many, but a lot of them want to give up, or they want to berate, or they want to punish. And I'm like, sometimes you just got to let a kid make a mistake. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean you discipline or you guide, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there are certain people that you have to let touch the stove to discover it's hot. Like, there just are people like that. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing. They're just apprehensive about what people say. Parents have to realize that their kid is not there. It's not them. It's
Yep.
not, the kid doesn't belong to you.
Yep.
It's your child. It's your seed. It's your cells, but it's not you.
Yeah.
And it's not your belonging.
Yeah.
And kids need to realize that parents are human.
Mhm.
I know mom and dad carry these superhero capes and superpowers, but
Yeah.
I've come to terms with the fact that my parents were very human, and all the things that they did to me, shelter me, keep me away from things, not let me listen to anything but Radio Disney, was what they felt was the best thing for them to do.
Yeah.
And we both have to forgive each other for that. Like, I
Yeah.
have to forgive them for what they did, or not what they did, but how it affected me.
Yeah.
And they have to forgive me for not doing what they said to do. Literally.
And that's exactly, and that's the same, like, that's the same thing. Like I said, I had to come to a point where I had to forgive my parents because they were super strict. I got punished constantly. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I got things taken away from me all the time. They were the kind of parents where, like, if a friend asked me to go out somewhere, I'd be like, oh, okay, let me ask my mom. And I would just, like, put the phone on mute for a second. Wait for 20 unmute the phone. Oh, sorry, she said no. Because why would I waste my breath?
Same.
They were very strict. They were also not very open in their brains. They were parent, I was child. You know what I mean? And so there were a lot of things that they kept from me, or that they, this is not what you have to worry about. This is what I have to worry about. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, things like bills and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. But there are other things where it's like, hey, tell me about these things. Because like, at this point, I'm 16. At this point, I'm 21.
And that's what I was going to say, is that it has to be timely. Like, at least I feel like for me, and it might change once I actually push out the child and look at it in its eyes. But for right now, I honestly feel like I would talk about how I was at the age that they are now. So if they're 16, I'm going to tell them, yeah, 16, here's what I was doing. Here's my 16-year-old diary. It's crazy, but I know you can relate. So like, things like that.
Absolutely.
Just so I could tell them, like, yeah, when I was a freshman, I might not tell them. I think it's worth thinking about when you tell them, like, whether it's, let's say it's about freshman year of college. Are you going to tell them about your freshman year before they go, so they have a level of things they can do? Or do you tell them after the fact, like, hey, let's talk about our freshman years now that you've made your decisions?
Beforehand.
I
also, there's like a parenting technique where it's like, if your kid asks you a question, you should always answer it honestly, unless it's something that could, affect them in a way that you don't want them to affect them. Or unless it's something that's like beyond their level, right? And always, and the younger they are, it's kind of like, answer it to a point, right?
Yes,
like,
definitely.
Give them the answer, but you don't need to go beyond it. Like, if your 6-year-old comes up to you and asks you, where do babies come from? Tell them, like, 2 people have sex and a mom gets pregnant. This is what sex is. That's okay. A 6-year-old can know that, because eventually they're going to grow up and they're going to be surrounded by sex.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
But you don't have to tell them, your dad swept me up in a night of passion, put me on all fours, slapped me.
That dick inside me. It's traumatized your 6-year-old. And then it's
you put what inside you?
Well, Billy. There's also a parenting technique that says, don't use code names for genitals.
I agree.
I
agree.
Somebody saw something that said, like, there was a
your kitty cat,
like a 7-year-old or something, who said for years that her uncle was eating her cookies, and nobody knew what she was talking about because they shamed those genitals, and so she was getting fucking molested by her uncle for 4 years.
And was telling people.
And they couldn't help her because they didn't know what she was talking about.
No.
Guys, so that's a little sidebar, guys. I know it seems weird, but your kids should know what a penis, a vagina, a butt, and boobs are. Okay? Okay?
Yep. And you should get comfortable with talking about it too, because that's a lot of the stigma. Adults need therapy about dealing with sex.
Yeah, adults need therapy. That's why there's so many child molesters out there. Therapy about dealing with sex. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? Sorry.
But yes, back to your self-realizations and how it's a beautiful thing.
Yes. It's a beautiful thing. It's a scary thing, but it's a beautiful thing. And I sometimes I sit here and I wonder what my teenage self would feel looking at my adult self.
Oh,
And
every day.
you know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like and I'm like, what advice would I give my teenage self, or what would I say to her?
Ooh,
And I
good
feel like I
question.
was in a point where I was so lost. I was afraid if I were to meet her, I wouldn't be able to give her good direction. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
right now, I'm still kind of lost, but it's
No, not in the same way.
you know exactly. It's in such
Yeah.
a positive light where I'm like, you know what, darling? I don't know what to tell you, but
First of all, your
here.
teenage self would look at you with your hair cut short. You would look like everything she wants to be. I promise you. I promise you
A
that the
few
teen
pounds, but at least my titties big.
but you come with such a confidence that I feel like from the stories that you told me you didn't have when you were
Oh, I have
younger.
none. I had none. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Ming just gave me another look. He's over me. Um,
But
but
yeah, so I feel like if your teenage self, even if your freshman year self met you now, she would be incredibly impressed that one, you're still here with us. You didn't
yeah.
give up. Life
Oh,
didn't get you.
that's one big thing.
And two, that you seem to be, to me, you seem happier than you were a freshman, especially sophomore year. But especially freshman year, you definitely seem in a better
Sophomore year,
place.
let's just say it's a good thing I didn't kill myself, guys, because I was there.
It's
Sophomore year.
not funny. We can laugh through it now.
Oh my God. Senior year. Did I tell you? Let's just get a little serious for a second. Senior year, I was highly depressed. I was failing classes. I knew I wasn't gonna graduate that semester. I was trying to
This
figure
was
out
2015.
2014. So our actual
Our
senior year.
actual, because I'm like, my senior year is 2015.
So our fourth year. Let's just go
Yes.
because I graduated 2016. But our fourth year, and I just wasn't doing well. I was so depressed. I was terrified to go home. My anxiety, my depression were through the roof. I hated where I lived. I just wasn't doing well, right? And I was in this New York theater not acting, New York theater experience class, right?
Yes, yes.
So I think every other week we got to see a show. So I saw a lot
Hmm.
of shows that semester, which is dope, right? And so going to see one of these shows, like I said, I was super depressed. And I was at the train station, and do you remember when there was a story about a dude who killed himself by jumping into the train?
Yeah,
They were like,
that's happened in New Brunswick a lot. So I'm
that,
sure it happened in
yeah,
New York.
no, no, no. This was in New
Oh,
Brunswick.
oh
Yeah,
yes, I remember that happening. Yes.
you remember those stories? So that was right before I was about to go see a show, right? Not right before, but like weeks before. It was that
Yeah.
semester that it happened, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember I was going to see the show, and I was super duper late. The group that I normally traveled with was already in the city. Um, so I was by myself. I was traveling, and I was at a breaking point, right?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
was literally at the train station crying, and in my brain, I was like, my brain was telling me, they were like, Christine, step down onto that train track. If someone saves you, you're meant to be here. And if not, you know your answer.
That's what it sounds like. As unbelievable as that sounds.
Literally. So I was standing at the edge of the platform trying to figure out if I should do it or not. And before I could make a decision, one of my classmates comes up to me and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy I saw you. I thought I was the only one who was going to be late. This is awesome. Let's go to the city together." To this day, I don't know what decision I was going to make, but I feel like she saved my life.
That
Because
is
there,
God. That is literally because she did not have to be late. She did not have to be there. She did not have to see you on the platform. She did not have the inkling to go over to you. I see plenty of people I know that I don't go up to. She had like literally something in her head was like, go, 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 go
there
talk
was,
to her.
and when I tell you, there was every other single person in our class was already up there except for her and me. There was
That
no
is
reason for her to be there with
that's
me.
no one but the Lord. And I'm sorry if any of our listeners aren't religious or anything like that, but I am. And I feel like that was God. Are you
I just
okay?
knocked my foot. Oh, I'm wearing slippers, by the way. Oh, you can't see. You can't see.
Nope, you got to put your foot on the table.
I'm wearing slippers because it's that
Okay.
kind of morning. So
No, same, same. I'm only dressed from the waist up.
but at least you're at home. I like got out of my car to walk into this building. I was like, this bitch, talking about myself. This bitch put on slippers this morning. But yeah, sorry to go back. So that's just yeah.
That was God. Oh, he's so good. Because you are still supposed to be here. You have things you have to accomplish. You don't know what that is.
No.
But there is something that you are here to do. And now that you know it might not be acting in the traditional sense,
Yeah.
that frees you up to do anything.
Absolutely.
Anything. And I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. So like I share that story to say for other people who have suicidal thoughts or who have contemplated it or attempted it, it's kind of like I know what that feeling is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful. And really it's like, and it sounds so cliche, but at the end of the day, like the minute you make the decision, I mean, I was having suicidal thoughts as recent as this past spring. You know what I mean?
I remember.
And it really comes down to, holy shit, we're almost in the winter. Did this year exist?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. It really comes
January, February, March, November.
Okay. First of all, you're worth it. You are worthy. You are meant to be here. You are meant to be here. Even when you don't think you are meant to be here. Okay? No matter how bad things get, no matter how bad life gets, you are meant to be here, right?
You are right where you're supposed to be, better yet.
And listen, sometimes just getting through the day is enough. Sometimes just getting through the week is enough.
Yep.
But by the time you hit day 8, do something a little different. Mm-hmm. Do something that drives you forward. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's okay. As the thing is, you just have to push forward. Go at your own pace. Do what you have to do, but just know that you are meant to be here. And every day that you make the decision that you're going to be here, show up, live. I've been just existing. I've just been a shell of a human being for a while. And every once in a while I have to tell myself, no, Christine, today you have to live. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes a friend tells me, Christine, today you have to live. You know what I mean? But it's just, and it's tough. Get some therapy if you can.
Take some vitamin D.
Take some vitamin D. That's a big thing that people don't realize.
One of the biggest, especially if you're Black. Black skin is used to African sun. We are not used to having to create our own vitamin D. It is usually supplied by the sun. Christine, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Ignore me. Sorry.
For the people that can't see, she just made a face. So for Black people specifically, as the sun gets less and less frequent, like as the amount of sunlight we get in a day goes down, our vitamin D levels go down. And that affects your mental, your physical, getting up in the morning, putting your feet on the floor. So if you are African American, please talk to your doctor or Google vitamin D supplements. Take it in the morning with food and see how that affects you. I've heard nothing but good things from people that take vitamin D.
And she has the science degree also. Listen.
Please do.
Yes. So take care of your bodies, take care of yourselves. I'm you know what? And I'm going on that journey with y'all. So yeah, guys,
I'm not gonna lie, it's been a beautiful thing to see. As someone who's been passenger seat to you for the last couple of years, I definitely want to say it's definitely been a beautiful thing to see the upward mobility and the transition. Not to say that it's been strictly up.
Oh no, it
never goes strictly up. If you look at the stocks, if you look at anything, if it goes up, it goes down, then up again, then down, then up again. So I definitely want to say,
as long as it's a flat line, you know what I mean? You're good.
Exactly. So I just want to say, like, it's been a pleasure to be witness to someone who's been growing in the way you have.
Thank you. Oh my God,
Honestly.
sweet. Oh, she's so sweet.
All right.
Alrighty. So, do you want to pop into Scorpio season, or can we take a break
Yes.
and pee?
Take a break so you can pee. We'll
Okay.
cut this out
Okay.
at 106.
All right.
All
Scorpio
right.
season.
Yes, it is spooky season, as I like to call it. So Scorpio season has just begun, and it
Mhm.
goes about until the end of November. This is a time basically of I like to. So the way I look at Scorpio is it's the sign of rebirth.
Okay.
So a lot of Scorpios like to reinvent themselves every couple years, like whether it's with hair, career, marriage. They get very like itchy when it's consistent. So
Mhm.
Scorpios like to reinvent themselves. It's also the time of intuition and the what do they call it? The veil between the living and the dead is very thin during Scorpio time. So Scorpios are very intuitive as a whole. So they have a very good way of like feeling people's intentions, people's emotions, people's feelings, things like that. They do a really good job at. Um, they're also very dark individuals. So if you think of Halloween, spooky season, things like that, all the occult, different things like that, Scorpios, every single Scorpio is interested in something dark. Something.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying they participate in that something dark. I'm not saying that they are murderers or serial killers, but
Or
they
witches.
have a weird, yeah, or witches. But most Scorpios, if not all, have some weird preoccupation with something related to death or sex. Whether it's an obsession with watching SVU, or if it's a obsession with, I don't know, falling down a rabbit hole about ghost hunting. Like, so things like that, Scorpios are very interested in.
Am I a
Um,
Scorpio?
no,
Mhm.
no, you might have Scorpio in your chart. I feel like you have Scorpio in your chart because one, you definitely reinvent yourself every couple years. Two, I want to say you're a very, how do I put this? You're a sexual being.
I like to fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say you I would say you probably have Scorpio somewhere.
Okay.
Scorpio is ruled by the planet Pluto, which is another mysterious planet. So if you think about Pluto, which is, I guess, not a planet, but now a planet again, I don't know. Pluto is very dark, very cold, very
God.
mysterious.
You're saying
So if you,
Pluto, and in my brain,
yeah.
I'm thinking Jupiter. So I'm like, what does she mean it's not a planet? Go on. God, I need to take a science class. Okay, go on.
So when you, Christine,
I'm
so
sorry.
when you think of Pluto, when you think of Scorpios, think of Pluto.
Mhm.
Most Scorpios are very reserved. You're not going to find a very loud and boisterous Scorpio unless they have fire signs in their chart. You're not going to find one of those. Most Scorpios are watchers instead of talkers. They're the type to observe the room. Scorpios can be very cold. Resting bitch face is Scorpio.
Mm.
I have a Scorpio, so I'm a Scorpio rising, and when
Mhm.
I'm not engaged in what I'm doing, I literally sit there like this. And people be like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm just I'm not thinking of anything. Like I'm not doing anything. Yeah.
I have
I'm
like
not thinking
resting
of anything.
sad face.
I'm fine.
I don't know. I don't know what my resting face is. Or I go a little cockeyed. I don't know what my resting face is. Okay, sorry, go on.
So yeah, famous Scorpio relationships would be like who one Drake is a Scorpio. So take with that as you will.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
take with that as you will. He is a
Okay.
Scorpio. He is probably one of the Scorpios. Um, well, the script Ryan Gosling's a Scorpio. I'll have the whole list for us next episode. I told Christine that next episode I'll go more in depth with Scorpio, especially with celebrities and the people that show off the traits. So next time I'll definitely go into that. But for the most part, like I said, Scorpios, the good things, they're very intuitive, very
Mhm.
caring, they're very loyal people. The bad sides, they can be incredibly manipulative.
Ooh,
In yes, incredibly revenge seeking,
ooh.
very vicious people. You wrong a Scorpio, they will what the term is Scorpios don't ghost, they haunt.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Evil.
I mean, if
Okay.
you have a Scorpio if you have a Scorpio in your life, good luck getting rid of them, especially if you have them in your romantic life. And don't double cross them because they're the type to set all your clothes on fire and light
Val
a cigarette off of it.
and light a cigarette off of it. Hey, what did you do? My new Nikes. And what of it? So you won't stop texting that bitch?
That's my cousin, I told you. Oh, now I know.
Yo, if you ever get caught cheating on someone, specifically a woman, I don't want to genderize, but men tend to go crazy or they tend to get upset or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
If you get caught cheating on a woman or if you wrong a woman and her first reaction is super calm or she starts to laugh,
Yeah.
you will not know peace
No.
for at least
No.
a few years. Even if you leave her, she leaves you, you will not know peace. Okay?
No. And that
Okay?
is a Scorpio. That is a Scorpio.
I try not to genderize things, but that one I am. That one I am. Because because a man will never laugh if you told him that you cheated on him. He might cry, he might get angry, he might get aggressive.
Beat you.
He might beat you. A woman might do all those things too. But if a woman finds out, like if there's nothing more of a woman than when she brings you. There was a picture of it where a woman brought her man out to dinner and blew up 8x11 pictures of the text messages that he was sending to other girls and was presenting them to him during dinner. And this was a white couple. I was shocked she did this. This was
in front of the family. I think I saw this. No, in front of the kids.
No, not in front of the family. No, it was like a couple around our age. No kids. Not around. But it's like he thinks they're going on a date, and she was like, "I got something for this bitch." Like,
there was one. Oh, just to segue really quickly, there was this white family with her white family, like kids and the husband. They're all sitting down to dinner. She brings out a birthday cake, and she puts it on the table, and she's like, "You're gonna blow it out?" And it's like "Happy Birthday, Jen" or some of the girl's name, and the kids are like, "Why are you bringing the cake?" It's like, Daddy likes to wish girls happy birthday on Facebook, so we're gonna wish her a happy birthday.
And I'm so mad the kids sang along with her. Yeah. Oh my God! I mean,
that was crazy. I was like, she's a Scorpio. See, that is a Scorpio behavior.
That's the funniest thing I've ever. And like the oldest daughter is recording her, like, "Mom, you're crazy." The little kids are singing with her, and she's like, "Blow out the candle for Katie. Blow out a candle for Katie." That is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God!
If you are that woman, you are my spirit animal. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
The fact that she took the time to bake, frost, and ice the cake.
Like, literally decorated a cake, put one candle in the middle, blow it out for Katie. Yo. Oh my God.
That likes to wish girls happy birthday on Facebook.
Oh my God. Oh, that's so funny. I love that so much.
But yeah, that was just so yeah, please do not wrong any Scorpio men. Scorpio men are crazy. Stevie J is a Scorpio. Jocelyn's a Scorpio. Like, really? Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Oh man. Okay.
And then I think we wanted to wrap up with all the stuff about SARS. So Christine, what have you heard about what's going on in Nigeria? Because if you ask ABC News, it's not going on. If you ask Western news media, it's not being covered.
See, this is why I prefer to get a lot of my information from the internet, because not saying that it's superior, but you're going to find more than you will on your nighttime, your 6 p.m. news.
Excuse my video going out. I'm just pulling up my notes.
That's fine. She's leaving us, y'all. But no, so I know
I'm still here.
So I don't know what SARS stands for, but what I heard about them is they are like a police force that's supposed to be helping the people, like most police forces in Nigeria. And I know that they're in Nigeria, but the big thing I heard about them is they're completely abusive. They're a total abuse of power. They intimidate, harass, rape to get what they want. And I heard like a big thing that people hate about them is that they will target young people with, oh, Ming pulled it up for us, but I know that they target young people with money.
Yep.
That's what I heard. So like they'll go after if they have like expensive cars, nice
Yep.
clothes, if they like whatever. So they'll like intimidate them, arrest them, rob them, take their stuff. So it's something that's what is it? Special anti-robbery squad,
Yep.
and they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be against.
Yes. So it's basically another story of a country solving police brutality with more police brutality. It's literally, and that's so part of this conversation I want to be, and we'll continue this in our next episode. I want it to be one, what's actually going on, which we'll talk about today, and two, an African American's responsibility for what's going on in Nigeria. And that we'll talk about in our next. I know that sounds delicious. So join us for our next episode to dive into that one. But so yeah, basically the special anti-robbery squad was created as a special division of the police. The problem is, since their inception, they've been doing absolutely wrong. So this issue is twofold. One, the police in Nigeria are not paid enough to eat. They're not. They're paid worse. They're paid about $10 a day to take that home and to protect other people and to eat and feed their family. So as a result of not paying the police have turned to criminals to pay them. And criminals breed more criminals. So when your police force is being funded by criminals to do criminal work or protect criminals, and then the money is cut off because the police, let's say arrest the criminals, now the police is left to find their own means of feeding their family. I'm not saying it's right. But everything is systematic. No one just wakes up and wants to rob and rape.
Human nature, like based on society we created, that's what a human's going to do.
Yep. And then since that started, it just devolved into now, they are people that are legally allowed to carry guns and intimidate anyone they want. My boyfriend, when he came to America when he was younger, when we first met, he came to America when he was 6, 7. But when we used to talk about it, when we used to talk about police relations here in the United States, he used to be like, I don't trust the police. They're not what they say they are, XYZ. And then my suburban ass, like, the police is here to protect you. Like, when I see police, I feel safer. What are you talking about? And that's because I had never seen a police officer doing wrong in my life. While he has seen multiple times that police will literally pull over your car and demand grab the youngest in the car and demand money for that person to get returned to you.
Yeah.
And because that's been happening to so many generations, this generation in Nigeria, just like here, is fed up. They're fed up. Yeah. So they had peaceful protests. The government responded by having a curfew, a 24-hour curfew. They protested anyway, and then they were shot down. 78 people were shot and killed in the dark. They turned off the lights on the protesters. 78 people were killed.
I didn't hear the number that big. I knew there was I knew it got deadly. I didn't know it got that deadly. Okay.
78 peaceful protesters were killed. Like, imagine us having the March on Washington and they turn off the lights and then just start shooting into the crowd.
Trump is
the government.
Excited. Trump is probably taking notes from them at this point. But
Trump still believes Africans live in huts. I don't think he's paying attention at all.
That's true.
But
you're right.
Yeah, and then not to interrupt you, but then the president Buhari, he came on and had a speech and didn't really acknowledge what happened with the violence, but said that the lockdowns and the response from the police was a response to the protesting. He's literally like, if y'all weren't protesting, I wouldn't have had to shoot you down.
And if you didn't have, okay.
We are protesting because you are shooting us down.
And so the NSARS, as much as it is about get rid of this police, this is really like a plea to the government, right?
Yes.
The people are mad at the government because they implemented this and then they're using it to their advantage instead of, hey,
and numerous millions of Nigerians are starving while the government and the people that work in the government have been living lavishly for decades. They just found a bunker of food, rice, potatoes, grains, meat, all in a whole bunker, airplane bunker, that was supposed to be delivered to Nigerians. The youth found it and started taking things and bringing it back to their city because the government did not deliver the stuff like they were supposed to. Imagine now in October, finding food that was supposed to be given to you in March. Imagine.
You're keeping it for what? And then
For
you say,
what? Imagine in Newark, like where we have the most poor in New Jersey, and they literally have not gotten any richer in this pandemic, and we find out that there was hella food left in a warehouse.
yeah, to feed the people who weren't getting to eat because they didn't get to go to work or they didn't get to go to school, have
and
lunch.
We're already living one check away from poverty.
Yeah.
Nigeria has billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't want to keep interrupting you.
No.
Nigeria has billions of dollars. It goes Hollywood, Bollywood, then Nollywood. Literally in the entertainment industry. Nigeria has money, and yet they do not have paved roads. They do not have reliable electricity. Sam used to tell me that the power used to go out on a regular basis, and not because they didn't pay, but because the government cycled it to save money.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, and Nigeria is not a third world country. The way they like to depict it, they are not a third world country. The people are not third world minded.
It's a corrupt government.
It's incredibly corrupt, and the youth have been fed up since Fela Kuti in the 80s, and now because of all this resurgence of fed upness around the world, now they're deciding to actually like make a stand, and I love to see it.
And this is where, actually, you know what? I'm going to do more research and gather my thoughts for our next episode, because we're bringing back this discussion, y'all. Because, I mean, this, while it is an issue that doesn't directly affect us, it affects us. It affects a global conversation. You know what I mean? So we got to bring this back. I have thought.
Definitely.
I need to educate myself a little more, and then I'm going to bring back some thoughts.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Melissa.
Of course. No, it's something I'm not Nigerian. Again, I'll talk about this next episode. I am probably Nigerian. If you are African American who can trace their roots back to the slave trade, you have a 78% chance of being Nigerian. 78% chance if you are from the slave trade of the East Coast. That's almost 80% chance. More likely than not, if you are African American, you are Nigerian. I can't relate because I don't call myself Nigerian culturally. But this, if God wills it, I will have a son or a daughter that will be Nigerian. They will be. So if this is happening to their homeland, I can't sit here.
I can't
sit here.
But go on. Yeah. No.
It's important to me.
Conversations of brutality and police brutality, corrupt governments, misuse of power. These have to be global conversations, no matter how big or how small the country is. Do you know what I mean?
It's no longer here. It might be a story about race, but there it's a story of power.
Yeah.
The haves and the have-nots.
Yeah. And here,
more often than not, it's the have-nots oppressing the other have-nots.
Yeah. And honey, here it's about power too.
Yeah.
We all know that, but we can have a discussion about that next time.
Oh, I'm excited though. Birdman hand rub. I'm excited.
Ooh, sounds right. I gotta put some lotion on.
All three of y'all.
Oh, Lordy Lord.
This has been good though. I feel like we had a really good episode.
Yes. Guys, I realize I've been looking sideways the whole time. Melissa's up on the screen. The camera's right here. This video is gonna look weird, but deal with it. I don't care. All right.
You got a quote for us?
I do. The quote is, get out and vote. If you haven't voted, do your little mailer ballot, go somewhere in person. If you can't go somewhere in person, I think you still can vote in New Jersey, right? You can still mail it in? Okay. Yeah. Guys, vote. Vote, vote, vote. I'm going to say I don't care who you vote for. I do. I do. I do care who you vote for. But at the end of the day, you know what? Exercise your right to vote. It is a privilege we have. Vote, vote, vote. If you are trying to make sure that we don't have 4 more years of horse shit, vote. vote, vote. Please, y'all. Please.
And flip over the damn ballot. Flip it over. There's questions like weed legalization. Flip over the ballot. Flip it over.
First of all, it's an incomplete ballot if you don't answer all the questions, if you don't vote for everything. So you have to vote for everything. Yes, incomplete. So yeah, vote. That is my quote. Get out and vote.
All righty. Well, that's been good. Aww. Our next episode, I will be in person, so I'll be there to see you. We'll have our rap.
Yes, we will. Because Christine can't. I'm not a rapper. Wait.
I'm not a rapper.
Episode. Hey, follow us on YouTube.
Yes, bye.